Welcome. In this video, I will describe the questionnaire known as VbIM, one that helps identify what is most important to us, our values. These are a very important part of what we would call our identity. VbIM stands for Value-Based Indicator of Motivation, shown here on the PfS map on the Energy and Motivation line. VbIM provides a detailed picture defined by 24 personal values, which are classified into four main themes. There are values that identify what I want for myself, others define what I want to become, what I want from others, and what I want from my community. Those four themes emerged after extensive trials which identified two core concepts. The first was how some values are focused on personal or individual needs versus those that are focused on other people and groups. The second was how some values can be satisfied in the shorter term, whereas others focus on the longer term, here shown as satisfaction versus meaning. Now, the 24 values in VbIM fall into these four boxes, which provides a very useful structure for exploring what a person needs short term, what they want in the longer term, how much this involves immediate relational contact, and how much is focused on the context in which a person lives. This helps them to develop a deeper narrative about what is important to them. But now let me describe a little more about the reports. A common expectation is that they will display results and add some narrative description. However, the VbIM Explorer report is designed to stimulate a process of exploration. So before people get their results, they are invited to name their top 3 values, the ones they would identify if asked by a friend. They are also encouraged to identify how these are currently expressed or evidenced in their everyday life. They then get their results as a table, where all the values are shown as a hierarchy from 1 high to low 24, and this table shows how each value falls within the 4 areas described earlier. The report then goes on to give a fuller description of their top 6 and their bottom 3 values. A unique feature of the VbIM is the way in which it challenges what the person says or believes about their values, and it does this by examining the consistency of their answers. It presents these challenges by identifying the values that may be less important than they currently believe and those that may be more important than they currently believe. It can do that because the questionnaire invites people to rank the values based on the definitions, hence identifying their most conscious values. However, by answering 144 questions, we can see whether the values identified by the simple ranking is confirmed when they answer the 6 different questions that measure that value. This information is presented in the administrator's report. The ranking based on the definitions is called the general ranking, and the rankings based on how the person answered all 144 questions is called the detailed ranking. Now, sometimes there is a marked difference. Here, the person ranked the desire to influence people at 9. However, when answering the 6 underlying questions, they rate them higher than we would expect, and this suggests that influence is far more important than they realise. Similarly, they ranked integrity at 4, however the detailed ranking suggests that this is far less important since it drops down to rank 10. This is shown in the Explorer report like this, and the 2 examples are shown here and here. In addition, we have information that compares their responses to a comparison group or norm group. Here, we can see that well-being is considerably higher than most people in this comparison group. And these values can then be ranked from highest to lowest, and we call this the comparative ranking. It is important to remember who they are being compared with, and there is a wide choice enabling comparisons with just males or females, or different ethnicities or different age groups. And there is yet another way to challenge people about their espoused values, which is for them to complete the paired version of the VbIM. And here we can see that the feedback from the person's co-respondent is that collaboration is lower than they believe themselves. And so in the administrator's report, the table is actually presented with these three possible rankings. And if the paired version is used, this table shows that the co-respondent believes that the person values influence much higher than they do themselves, and that openness is much lower. One way to process differences when you are using the paired version is to use the Johari window, summarized here. You can watch a video on how to use this. The URL is at the bottom of the screen. Johari suggests that when two people's rankings agree, we can call this the public self, at least in that particular relationship. And where they disagree, this could be because it is being kept private. But the person is invited to consider whether it is a blind spot. That makes for a very useful discussion, which peels back the layers of a person's current personal narrative. If you want to watch the YouTube video, you can contact us to receive a link. With all this information, the person is encouraged to consider the feedback from the report and from the co-respondent in order to re-evaluate what they say and believe about their most important values. Hence, it's not the questionnaire results that are most important, but how it helps them to clarify what is really important to them. And this can be summarised in this part of the report. So I hope that has helped you to understand the VbIM and how to get to the heart of someone's values and identity, and that you're ready to go and use it, because it's only through practice that you will appreciate its full power. Remember, as practitioners, we continue to learn a lot by working with our clients. And here is the PfS map again to remind you of the other tools that may help you to explore a person's energy and interests, and much more. If you want to know more about the VbIM or other tools, please contact us. We have numerous videos that help facilitators, as well as user guides that detail the models and the process of development. So thank you for listening.